Beauty like this just has to be seen to be believed. But you may not be able to see it much longer if you travel by OHV. Hi, I'm Chad Booth, and today on At Your Leisure, Ria and I are on one of the most incredible trails in the Southwest. But it may be going away if you don't make your voice heard. We'll give you all the details on how to comment. Then, Steve Human goes from the top of Colorado to the bottom and discovers adventures that will make you want to experience spring's thaw from a mile up.
You know, there's only one place, Ria, I can think of where you can actually drive right along a riverbank on a rugged, scenic western river. And this is it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Chad Booth.
And I'm Ria Rossi Booth, and Chad and I are on Hey Joe Canyon Trail. And this is beautiful. We're right along the Green River, and we're out here in Grand County. And if y'all haven't been out this way, I suggest you get out here as soon as possible.
Now, the reason that we're talking about as soon as possible is that Grand County, the county this is in, is actually looking at changing their transportation plan and the recommendations they make on the Public Lands Initiative at Congressman Rob Bishop's office. This is one of 100 miles of road that they're proposing be closed down. And so yet there's another reduction of access to public lands in this proposal. And we thought that we would take this half hour and show you some of that and talk about whether you think that's a good thing or not, and let you see for yourself what the recreational opportunity looks like and what kind of overall impact it looks like it has. That's our mission today in the show.
Yeah, how about we all go out, everybody, and check out what this trail has to offer.
We are at Hey Joe Canyon, and we just came down a beautiful scenic road that started at the very top of the canyon and wound all the way down to the river.
And it's just a great place. It's not a real technical trail, but enough to get your nerves going a little bit and get back in here with the family, and it's a good time.
To get to this spot, you can come in on motorcycles, ATV, UTVs. We've heard of a Suburban getting into this spot. And then you've got the river, so you've got kayakers and river rafters. And we, in fact, on this trail have seen motorcyclists, made friends with them, and also with the kayakers. As they came by, they waved. There's a lot of things of closing trails and only having hiking access. Not all of us, me included, can hike in 20 miles, 10 miles. So it's nice that we can come in on a UTV and then hike from there.
You know, a lot of people don't have vehicles to come out and see this kind of stuff, but there's plenty of availability to get these, and rent them if you have to, you know, and come out. And even if you need a guide, you know, there's plenty of people like in Moab that'll come down and take you out on these trails, and it's stuff you'll never forget.
Well, you've seen the trail. What do you think? I know what I think.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love it.
It's awesome. Well, listen, a little later in the show, we're going to talk about some of the ramifications of all of these plans and some of the impact that it might have and what some of the community leaders think about it. Right now, though, it's time for us to spread our wings with yet another great itinerary idea for you. And we're off across the border that's nearby to us right now to explore Colorado.
Ascending to the heights. That's what we tend to think of when talking about Colorado. In this case, though, we're descending to the depths. This is a land of extremes, where you can go from some of the highest places in the country to the lowest, and there is adventure everywhere in between. Today, we're starting here at the top, Pikes Peak, the 14,000-foot pinnacle of the southern front range of the Rocky Mountains, where you can look down on the world while, surprisingly, racing to the top of it. Since 1916, the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb has taken racers in cars, motorcycles, even ATVs up into the clouds.
Pikes Peak has such a rich history. Pikes Peak to me is my Indy 500. It's what I look forward to every year. and it's something that I can control because we can build our own car, and it's not we don't have to buy somebody's spec car to come race. You can build your own creation.
That opportunity to build is one of the aspects of the race that has inspired amateurs to try their hand at scaling the peak. The race is open to everyone, and anyone who is interested can make the climb up this steep grade. Now, you won't find all of your adventure here in the thin air, though. As you descend in elevation from Pikes, you come to the small town of Canyon City. This is your middle ground, where ATV trails head out into a more desert environment, or you can explore the old railroad grades of Phantom Canyon. The remnants of eons past can still be found in the dry rocks of this area as well. I toured with Ina Finch from Indian Springs Ranch and found a world I never expected to discover out here among the brush.
All of this was underwater about 12 million years ago. The interesting thing about this is that this is so perfectly preserved, and we've had paleontologists argue how does this look this way?
Those squiggles in the rock are the petrified paths of invertebrates and insects. But what scientists can't figure out is how they were preserved in this way. It's a mystery visitors are invited to solve. To the south of the ranch and the winding paths of Phantom Canyon, we finally reach the bottom. Here, the Arkansas River cuts through the rock and forms the Royal Gorge. Now, an amusement park of sorts has sprung up here, complete with what until recently was the highest suspension bridge in the world.
The bridge was built in about 6 months and by about 80 men with no fatalities, no serious injuries. The bridge platform is actually 996 feet above the Arkansas. Right now we're about 1,178 feet above the Arkansas River on one of the attractions here in the park, which is the aerial trail. We have over 21 ride shows and attractions in the park, including this aerial tram, an incline railway which takes you 1,550 feet down to the bottom of the gorge at a 45-degree angle, which is a tremendous ride.
And that is how you get to the bottom of Colorado, where the Arkansas flows through a tight crevasse. Colorado is a land of adventure and extremes. And whether you're starting at the top in a race car or heading to the bottom by railroad, you're going to find a spring thaw that is unlike anything else in the West. Now, you can find out more about these individual excursions on our website, ayltv.com, and the Pikes Peak Hill Climb will take place June 22nd through the 27th, and you can sign up to race or volunteer at ppihc.com. From a mile high and still at the bottom, I'm Stephen Heumann for At Your Leisure.
Are you pushing the limits of riding? Are you holding the steepest side hills? Carving the toughest lines? In the deepest powder? The 2016 Ski-Doo sleds. Are you riding or are you watching? Ski-Doo.
It's time to put your year in gear during the Polaris XP sales event. Get rebates up to $1,000, financing as low as 1.99%, and more. Our most popular Sportsman comes with a free 5-year warranty. You could save up to $1,000 on accessories when you take home a Ranger XP. It's all part of the year's best deals on the world's biggest off-road lineup.
Stedman's Recreation. People might tell you it's 300 miles out here, but remember, it's really only 30 miles back.
Hey, Dean Bullock here from D&P Performance. Glad to have At Your Leisure back here in beautiful southern Utah. We're down here today doing a review on the Wildcat Trail, which is the sport's little brother. The Wildcat Trail, this one's a 2015 Wildcat Trail Limited. The Limited means it's got an automotive style paint on it, a little nicer seats in it, and it has come standard with power steering. This vehicle is a 50-inch wide, where the Sport is a 60-inch wide. So this car is trail legal in all states in the U.S. The Trail only has 10 inches of travel in the front suspension. That's because it's a narrower car. The arms aren't as long. So there's a little bit of difference between suspension travel and ground clearance. When you make a 50-inch car, you can't have the big suspension travel on it. So they use a Fox podium shock on the front. It's proven to be a very good shock on this vehicle. All of the Wildcat Sports and Trails come with a tilt well on them. That's a standard feature, which is really nice depending on your arm length or your size. The other thing that comes standard on all of the new Wildcat Sports and Trails is their multifunction gauge. You can read your air temperature, battery voltage. It goes through a full system check. There are just so many neat things that you can do with this gauge. The air cleaner on the Sport is very easy, and the Trail to get to. There's 5 little clips. The air cleaner comes out in your hand, very easy to service. Same thing on the front end as the back. There's so many accessories available. There's so many different options that you can buy today to customize these vehicles to make them your own. Okay, the engine, the frame, and the horsepower on the Trail is exactly the same as the Sport. The Sport has a little heavier gusseting in it. It's still the 68 horsepower, 700 inline twin. That's a quick overview of this vehicle, and now let's go to a commercial.
Spring is guaranteed with Arctic Cat. Get your best deal of the year on a new 2016 M Series snowmobile. With our Spring Guarantee program, get 4.9% financing for 60 months with a 4-year warranty or a Backcountry Access Mountain Pro Vest Avalanche Float Airbag. Plus, get $300 in Cat Cash and receive a Cat's Pride membership. Spring is guaranteed at Jorgensen in Richfield, The Edge Power Sports in Draper, Beer Sports Center in Vernal, D&P Performance in Cedar City, and K-Motive and Sports in Green River. Arctic Cat, share our passion.
Family, a simple word that carries more meaning than we can even understand. We base our entire lives around the smiles of our children and the moments that become cherished memories. At Ray City RV, we understand the importance of that family bond. As a family-owned business since 1946, we've been giving our customers the chance to make those memories in the backcountry of the West. Early spring savings on all Ray City RV camp trailers, fifth wheels, and motorhomes can make it more affordable than ever before. Ray City and Roy, turning dreams into memories one trip at a time.
A mountainside trail. A day of speed that pushes your limits. A desert oasis that opens your horizons. A land of horsepower for every taste. Tooele County is all of them in one. It's time to experience a new adventure you never knew you were missing. It's time to find out what's just over the mountain. Tooele County, Utah. The Wasatch Front is your home. Tooele is your backyard.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure, everybody. Chad and I are on Hey Joe Canyon Trail.
Hey, Joe. Hey.
And we're with our good friends, the Taylors and the Brinkhursts, and we are having one heck of a good time today.
Right now, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's going on here in Grand County. 2 Utah counties had elections in November. It changed their commissions or their county councils, and those new councils decided that they wanted to rework the last 18 months of work on setting up recommendations to Congressman Rob Bishop's office on what to do with the Public Lands Initiative, so we could get some permanence in how we manage land. The new council in Grand County, the most contentious of all of them, has gone back to the drawing board and started all over again. They're inviting comments. We thought we would take this time to introduce you to some of those community leaders and let you know their opinions about what's going on and why they decided to do this.
What we're trying to do is find a balance that meets the most needs, and ultimately to create some certainty for all the industries that work down here. We have not had certainty on what is and is not going to be allowed on public lands in this end of the state for many years.
At the beginning of this year, when the new council was seated, there was an interest in reopening the discussion part of the process to allow for more public input.
Our new city council, county council, as the old, were good, honest, honorable people. And I truly believe that this new county council will realize that they represent everyone in Grand County, just not those with certain views.
Our clients come out here to enjoy, a backcountry experience, whether they're in a Jeep, on a four-wheeler, bicycling or rafting. A lot of people are looking for an outdoor experience, and any closures that prohibit people from getting into the backcountry is a concern for us. And there's thousands and thousands of acres out here that have never been touched by four-wheel drives. They've never been touched by people walking.
We already lost 2,500 miles in 2008 from the BLM RMP process. If we're going to entertain losing more routes, our first choice would be to add routes someplace else. Our second choice might be to provide some security to what's left so that this round of closures isn't just another one of many.
That's the best way for democracy to work, is for everybody who has an interest or a stake in a given area or issue to have some say at what happens there.
We have an official vote scheduled for the 31st of this month where we will take what we have recommended so far, and I'm not sure what the structure will be yet, but we'll take the actual official votes. I suspect that most of what we have done so far will stick.
I would love to see it where all these groups can sit down and say, just because you enjoy an experience on a mountain bike or hiking doesn't detract from those that are experiencing a different type of experience in a 4x4 or a UTV or an ATV, and talk about what can be done to preserve the area for all types of recreation.
So later in the show, we're going to give you all the information you need so you can make your voice heard on this very important issue. But right now, we're going to go to our trailhead.
Let's roll.
Memories are powerful things. A day of off-roading with the family evolves from a collection of hours into a defining moment. The objects associated with that day transcend their physical forms and connect with us at an entirely deeper level. That relationship is particularly strong when it comes to our vehicles. Family vacations crammed into a pickup. Those connections can last our entire lifetime.
I think anybody who's an enthusiast for their particular type of vehicle experiences that same thing, but I think it's manifest in slightly different ways. And a lot of it has to do with the amount of time and money and effort the owners put into making their rig special. And then you add to that some of the stories and the adventures and the unique elements of each vehicle, and each one it almost takes on a personality.
For Greg Miller, businessman and outdoor enthusiast, that vehicle is the Toyota Land Cruiser. The Land Cruiser has cultivated a following and loyalty few other vehicles can lay claim to. Like so many of us, Greg's affinity for his preferred ride started long before he was ever able to drive one.
It was probably about 1970 or 71. My dad was working at Stevenson Toyota in Lakewood, Colorado as a parts manager. I was hanging out with him at work one day and started wandering around through the back lot and came across this really cool four-wheel drive vehicle that was powder blue. And I remember being just barely tall enough to reach up and grab that lever handle and pull down on it, and the door opened and I climbed up inside there, and I can still remember that smell and the brown vinyl seats. I remember standing up on the seat and pretending I was driving it and pulling the levers and pushing the buttons and knobs and stuff, and it was a great time. And since then there have been dozens if not hundreds of really fun, memorable Land Cruiser adventures.
Off-road trips with his father, famous entrepreneur Larry H. Miller, helped solidify his love for the Land Cruiser, each trip adding a memory of time with family, the beauty of places like Moab or the San Rafael Swell, and bonding between a father and son that now seem all too fleeting.
This was actually our family vacation right after my dad died, and right here, this is Washerwoman Arch. He kept seeing the Washerwoman Arch, and he kept thinking, just go around one more bend and I'll be closer and get a better picture. One more bend, and then one bend. He went one bend too far at one point, and we didn't have time to go back and get the picture. This was 20 years ago, and so he said, I want to get back down there and get that picture. He never made it. He died before he had a chance, so we went down there in his honor, took the picture. We got all the Land Cruisers in front of her.
Today, decades later, Greg has his own Land Cruiser museum, celebrating not just a vehicle that he believes in, but a lifetime of quiet moments on the back roads of Utah. It's a common tale in the Land Cruiser community, but more interestingly, it seems to be common no matter what vehicle you choose to highlight. The story details change, and the truck or ATV type varies with each. But what doesn't are the days with family and friends, the outdoor environments that inspire, and children, now grown, who strive to pass it on to the next generation.
Cars in general, but Land Cruisers in particular, have this wonderful way of facilitating multi-generational family relationships. This vehicle, literally and figuratively, that allows you to travel into beautiful places and have wonderful experiences. Sometimes those experiences aren't wonderful at the time because you're stuck in mud 2 feet deep, or you got a broken axle or something, and you're just cussing at the time, but looking back, they're always fun. You always smile when you think about them. And those experiences and those memories, to me, are what really galvanize those relationships.
From the Trailhead, I'm Don Dunwell.
Our Trailhead segment today is sponsored by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. That's that great place where you can order all kinds of accessories for your ATV or your motorcycles, and they'll ship it right to your door. Just go to the Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com website, and you can take a look at it there.
Razor, Ranger, Sportsman, Ace. There's a Polaris to match your passion. Confident, comfortable, capable. That's Ace. With a solo cockpit, automotive controls, independent suspension, all-wheel drive, and up to 45 horses of fuel-injected power. Calling it revolutionary would be an understatement.
You go through the day-to-day repeating what you did yesterday. Don't you wish you could access that piece of your life that's missing? Find the beauty, serenity, family fun, or anything else that's missing from your life in the Cedar City, Bryan Head area. Gain access to your adventure, whether it's camping, hiking, the arts, festivals, or just a getaway. Visit cedarcityayl.com for details on all the adventures that you can access in scenic southern Utah.
Set sail on the largest saltwater lake in the Western Hemisphere at the Great Salt Lake Marina, this week's featured Utah State Park. The Great Salt Lake provides boat slips, public viewpoints of the natural beauty of this area, sail and motorboat access, and a search and rescue operations center. The marina is home to the Great Salt Lake Yacht Club, which boasts the saltiest sailors on Earth. The lake is also open to personal watercraft, kayaks, and canoes, plus, if you're brave enough, water skiing. Visitors will also enjoy beautiful views of the Great Salt Lake, nearby Antelope Island State Park and Black Rock. The State Park and Marina is located right off Interstate 80 at the Salt Air exit. Utah State Parks, adventures for everyone.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure, everybody. Well, Chad and I are sitting on a vintage Caterpillar tractor.
I'm glad to hear you call it vintage instead of junk. Yeah. She usually calls these fine pieces of history junk.
Anyway, this thing actually made this Hey Joe Canyon Road.
This Caterpillar is so old that it actually is cable driven off of a power takeoff instead of hydraulics to lift the blade up and down. The very fact that it's here pretty much takes this away from being a wilderness area, because this used to be used in regular commerce. It's no longer untouched by man. And so we got to be careful with how we set up designations and how we reclaim things, because the road's here, it has been here, it's traditionally been here. Why not just share the river? Because you've got a big long stretch that meets a scenic and wild river designation, and to force this last little bit of access out seems a little disingenuous, in my opinion. You can disagree, and that's what this whole show's about, is to tell you that you can express your opinion. Well, okay, I've been on my soapbox.
Well said, Capitan. Okay, let's talk about something really fun, and that's our AYL sticker winner.
Well, Chris Chandler sent us these photos of his AYL sticker proudly displayed on his motorcycle directly from Sturgis last year. Check that out. Chris, you are the winner of a family 4-pack to Fast Karts, that great go-kart racing track we featured on the show just a couple of weeks ago. Get those stickers, people. They are for real, the prizes are for real, and you will find them at any of the AYL sponsors.
Congratulations to our sticker winner. Give us a call at 801-947-8888 and claim your prize. Well, now we're going to talk real quick about our events. We've got a great event coming up called the Ultimate Outdoor Expo, and that's in Heber, Utah, and that is going to be at the Wasatch Fairgrounds. And that's April 24th and 25th. Get out there and you can do all kinds of fun stuff that you see on our program, you can do at that festival. It'll be fun.
That's true. Now, before you go out and play at the Ultimate Outdoor Expo, though, you've got a homework assignment. Okay, regardless of how you feel about this, you have a very limited time to express your opinion to the Grand County Council. They are rendering their opinion or their recommendations on the Public Lands Initiative by March 31st. So you've only got a couple of days. Sit down right now, make your comments. Just talk about how you feel they should be managing the public lands in this county and get your opinion in. It's important, and they've invited people from outside the county to have an impact. So don't let the other guy get ahead of you. You get in and make your thoughts known. That's your homework.
All right, and right now, let's take a look at next week's show.
Ever eaten a bug? Ever tried to start a fire from scratch? Ever been lost in the desert and had to survive? Well, next week, Chad and Ria are doing all of it. It's wilderness survival training, and you'll be surprised how far our hosts make it through a day of extreme temperatures and incredible hardship. They'll also show off how you can go through this same program. And it's all here in 7 days.
Well, next week's show looks highly awesome, just like today was on this incredible trail.
What was Sean Penn's character name in Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
I'm trying to think of his name.
Totally awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I just remember the teacher was Spicoli.
Spicoli.
Yeah. Anyway, we do have a thanks to make to Brandon Daly at Moab Tour Company. They have a full line of these great UTVs, and they provided us one for. In fact, Brandon was going to come with us today, but he was so busy helping customers like you get out on the trail that he had to cancel. So hats off to you, Brandon. Wish you'd have been here.
We had a great time, and if anything's wrong with it, just call Jason Taylor. He'll take care of it.
Thanks to the Taylors and Bringers for being with us today. And thank you for inviting us into your homes to share the beautiful outdoors of Utah every week.
That's right. And you know, just remember, you can't enjoy the great outdoors if you're sitting on your couch.
We'll see you next week.
Oh yeah. Out in the middle of the canyon with my lover bunny.
Hi, I'm Chad Booth from At Your Leisure. I hope you just enjoyed the YouTube video that you just watched. Now, remember, we come up with new videos like this every single week, so you might want to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a single story that we have out. Now, you can also share us with all of your friends on social media. Here's how to do it right here. And that way, they can have fun too. If you want detailed information, we of course have our website, AYLTV.com, and from there you can find out which television stations we broadcast on, so you never have to spend a day without your fix of family-oriented outdoor recreation adventure. Plus, don't forget we have really cool contests.